Right, so hi everyone, I'm Luca Gibelli, CEO of Skylable. I started my adventure in open source development in 2002. I was the first one to join Tomasz Koim, my co-founder from Torun, in the ClamAV project. ClamAV was a very successful project. It's currently protecting, thank you. It's currently protecting billions of users, and it's running on millions of servers. It's also deployed on very large mail servers. Here, even in Poland, it's used by WP, for example, wp.pl. It's used by Allegro for outgoing emails, so to catch phishing attempts. So it's really widespread. So it's a bit moved on the left, but anyway, ClamAV, we sold ClamAV to SourceFire in 2007, and later SourceFire was acquired by Cisco. So now ClamAV is maintained by Cisco. We don't have anything to do with it anymore since a couple of years. So we were sitting around and thinking what we should do next, and this is how we thought of Skylable. So we thought, what each of us is using and is not happy with? And the answer was Dropbox or similar services. So we were not happy that whenever you put your data in Dropbox, your data is synchronized to servers in US. Specifically, Dropbox uses Amazon S3 storage. Then it's a subject to the legislation of US, so whatever you put there can be used against you according to the US law. And we didn't like this. There is no support for client-side encryption in Dropbox, and there will never be. There are some plugins, but they are not multi-platform, so if you want to encrypt your data, you have to give up the comfort of having your data available from mobile, web browser, and also your desktop PC. So we thought, well, we can fix this. We can just write an open source software, something that everybody can trust because they can actually check what we do, what it's done to their data. They don't even have to share their data with the third parties. They can even run their own service in-house, on-premise. So one of the most important features that differentiate us from our competitors are fully compatible. It's full compatibility with the S3 protocol, although we also implemented another protocol which is much more efficient and can transfer only the differences between files. So when you put a new file, a new version of a file, of a document in your directory, it's only the differences are transmitted to the server. And the duplication, which means that if two users upload the same file, or some files have some data in common, that data is stored only once, or better, as many times as you want it to be replicated. So what are the lessons that I learned, back to the topic, what are the lessons that I learned in launching ClamAV and recently Skylable? There are 5 main lessons that I would like to share with you. The first one was that the most important thing for a project is to leverage the ecosystem. So you cannot write a software that doesn't integrate with other software, a software which does one thing and then expect people to plug it into something else. It doesn't work this way. It's you who must do the first step. So, for example, with Skylable, we knew that there were already a lot of clients for the S3 protocol, and we decided to support also the S3 protocol, not just our protocol. With ClamAV, we developed our own, let's call it plugin, content filter, to plug ClamAV into existing mail servers. So when the real power of a software is shown only when you integrate it with other software. The second lesson is that you cannot risk making your product too complicated. So if you make a program which is too difficult to understand for your users, they will never adopt it because the learning curve is too steep, and people don't have time to learn how to use the stuff. So you have to make it simple and make sure that they can get it up and running in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes without any effort. Anything that is complicated is gonna fail. The third thing is, the third lesson is about the community, actually. So whenever you build an open source, a successful project in general, there will be people that aggregate around you that want to cooperate with the development in many different ways. And there are some of these people will never be happy with your decision. So no matter how big your user base is, there will be always those 2-3 people that constantly complain about your software, that want to change it according to their wishes. And you have to learn to filter this noise, because for the 3 people that are unhappy with your product, there are probably 1 million users who are incredibly happy with your product and will be pissed off if you change it. So, and those happy users will stay silent. So you have to listen. You cannot just listen to the people that complain, because those are a minority, and people that are happy will never come to you and say, yeah, your software is fantastic. You have to go to events like this and ask them what they think about your product. And I will do it later. So the fourth lesson is that you have to explain your decision. So when you develop a complex project, for example, ClamAV took us 10 years of development. Skylable was started 2-3 years ago. When you develop a complex software, there will be hard decision to make. Not every day, maybe every week, every month, but those decisions are inevitably will make some people unhappy. And in order to not lose the support of your community, you have to make sure to explain all the reasons behind those decisions. So you have to explain the actual technical reason that lead you to make those implementation decisions. If you don't explain them, if you just impose them from above, like I am God, I can do whatever I want with my project, the community will fade away in a very short time. So just to give you an example, with ClamAV, at some point we had to stop backward compatibility with our virus database. So we couldn't support anymore malware signatures, which were like more than 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And people got angry with us because we just did it without explaining them why, without explaining that there were really good technical reasons that were blocking us from making progress with the engine. So once we explained the reason for dropping support for those signatures, everything went fine. The fifth lesson is release early, release often, and this is something that I learned actually more with Skylable, because we waited 2 years and a half, 3 years to release the first version. We put it online yesterday, 1.0, and it was too long. We waited too long, so try to release. Don't just leave your code sitting in a Git repository on GitHub. You have to make a release, because people will not test the code that you have in a repository. If you release just a development version or something really not refined, people will not test it. They don't have time to do that. They want just a release. So just give up on some features, maybe ship less, but ship more often. One more thing about Skylable, since I only briefly introduced you what we do. So it's a software which turns group of commodity hardware, of commodity servers, into an high-performance storage, object storage specifically. So instead of buying large storage on a network, which can cost even hundreds of thousands of dollars, not mentioning maintenance, support, and upgrades, you can just buy cheap servers of any brand and install Skylable on them and they will be aggregated as a single storage. So you will be able to store on this cluster as much data as is the sum of the storage available on each server. And the nice thing is that you can access the storage in multiple ways. So if you are a developer, we have a library that you can use. You can use the S3 protocol. If you are a system administrator, you can use a client, command line tools. So it will be like CP, LS, RM, MV. And if you are instead end user, you can still use a Skylable through an application which is very similar to Dropbox, a file sync and share application. Yesterday, we released this application for Windows, Linux, Mac OS X. We also released a few months ago the application for Android, and the application for iOS devices is pending Apple approval, which, by the way, I discovered that every year they suspend approval process for 1 week from the 22 to the 29 of December. So if you are too late for Christmas, you cannot publish your application. So we are trying to make it happen before Christmas. And that's it. I hope that you will try Skylable, and especially if you like it, it's great. If you don't like it, I would really appreciate if you could tell me why you don't like it. Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. I like short presentations. Don't leave yet. We might probably have a couple of questions to you. Hopefully, I have a couple. But if anyone else wants to start, then raise your hand and ask. Did anyone understand? Yeah. Okay.
Except for the user interface, user applications, what's your advantage of HDupe?
Well, HDupe? You mean Hadoop?
Yeah.
Hadoop. Okay. Sorry. So Hadoop is designed to store only large objects. If you are storing a file which is like 100 megabytes, then it's fine. But if you are storing a file which is like 1 megabytes or 10 kilobytes, for each object, you waste almost 99 megabytes. So it's designed for storing very large files. The other thing is that it's designed mainly for big data analysis. It provides a file system, which is something that we don't do. We just provide an object storage. So it's a
you said you provide a file system.
No, we provide the syncing of a file system. So actually, you can have a local directory on your hard drive, which is synchronized to a remote volume on Skylable. So you can still access them from a local directory, but underneath it, it's synced to an object storage, not a file system. The other advantage over Hadoop, well, Hadoop requires a lot of RAM. We just run with, we have a very, very low hardware requirements. Just 4 gigabytes of RAMs, a Xeon class processor, and any kind of hard drive that you can buy is enough for us. We don't require even a RIDE controller. So yeah, those are the main differences.
Thank you.